and I'm a member of Northwest Suburban Astronomers, and I've brought out my Next Star 6-inch telescope made by Celestron, and you'll see that this is a very portable, lightweight telescope, gives great views of the night sky. So I'm going to start here by setting up my tripod, and nobody likes to observe either sitting or kneeling on the ground, at least nobody my age. So I'm going to extend the tripod legs out here, and we're going to make sure that we hit a key essential point. It took me a little bit using my telescope when I got it a decade ago to realize how essential leveling the tripod is for a good tracking all night long. So you'll see there's an accessory tray that also serves as a leg brace. I have a washer and a tightening knob here. I'm going to screw this on, and next what I'm going to do is grab a little bubble level. You can also probably use a level on your smartphone. But what I have is a little bubble level, and because I've set up on my deck here, I make sure this is all tightened down, the legs are fully extended, and I see that I'm level. So then I'm going to pick up the largest piece, which is the single fork arm mount and the 16-inch optical tube. This weighs combined about 19 pounds, and you'll see that I had 3 screws here. What I'm going to do is tighten each one, start each screw, and then once I'm sure that all are turning nicely, I will then go back and firmly tighten each. And at that point, you can see I've already placed my eyepiece and star diagonal and my red dot finder here. And it comes with this very nice hand controller, which when we use it, you'll learn has 40,000 objects. So this telescope can be powered with 8 AA batteries. It only took me one night to realize that I would be much better served by having a lightweight, relatively lightweight, 12-volt, 18-amp-hour battery, and my husband helped, and we have it with a 2-socket cigarette plug here, and I can plug this in, and I can observe for, I'd say, 3 full nights, and I mean long nights, and still have power. Other things I want to mention to you is in the Midwest, we do have a considerable high humidity. And so I also have accessorized my scope not only with my battery pack, but I also have what's known as a dew hood. So you can see the Velcro on here, and I can just very quickly and neatly attach this around the telescope, and this will prevent dew from forming on the front of the scope. Something else that you can get is a dew tape, okay? And again, this can be connected into the socket, and it'll heat the end of the telescope and prevent dew. With your eyepieces, better to not use this accessory tray. I keep my eyepieces in a covered case or with in my pockets, as long as I have caps on both the top and bottom ends. So now that we have ourselves powered up, we're going to flip the power switch on, and we see that the hand controller is asking us to press enter to begin. So there are going to be 5 different choices for alignment. I would suggest for novices you use sky align. You'll just have to find 3 bright objects in the night sky. My personal preference over the decade of use has led me to find that Auto 2-star gives by far a more precise tracking throughout the night. Next, we know that the telescope is not GPS enabled, so I will need to enter date, time, and location. So as I work through using my controller, you'll notice that I use this undo button far more than any other. So on the time, I would like to go through here, and I'm going to undo and check my location. And it says the last time I was using was in Springfield, Illinois, and so I need to undo that. So I'm going to select Illinois, but this time through, I'm going to use 6 and 9 for my up and down arrows, and I'm going to go backwards through the alphabet to Rockford, Illinois. I'm out in the northwest suburbs. That's close enough for good guiding all night long. The time, I'm going to pretend we're at 8 o'clock on astronomy day. So 24-hour clock, I will enter 2000 hours. It is daylight savings time, which I'm confirming. I'm in the central time zone in the US, and my date will be April 24th. Whoops, here we go, undo. I will enter, and then I'm entering April 24th, 04, 24, and 21. And then now with my auto 2-star, it is asking me to select 2 stars. So I chose earlier Arcturus after looking at a star map. So what I will do at this point is select Arcturus. So I've selected Arcturus, and I'm now going to use the direction arrows up, down, left, right. As you're moving toward the star that you've selected, it's very important you go as directly as possible to the star. So I'm rotating the telescope here around to the east, and when I get a little further here, and then I'm going to rise up in the sky, and I'm going to look in my eyepiece. And of course, you all know I'm not really seeing Arcturus, but I'm guessing that it is about right here. I'm going to press enter. The telescope will then ask me to align it, so fine tuning, it's going to slow down the slew rate. And so I'm going to move a little bit this way and that way and press align. At that point, I will select a second star, and I have chosen Capella. And so you want to make sure that you choose stars. And again, I'm going through the menu to Capella. And you want to choose a star in the east and a star in the west. You want them to be widely separated, but not near the horizon. And I have not had success when selecting the moon that they say you can choose on the Sky Align. Have not had a whole lot of success with that, nor have I had a lot of success with choosing Polaris. So those three bright objects, you want to pick bright stars, widely separated, not close to the horizon. And now when I look, I say, okay, here we are at Capella, and I'll make a little bit of an adjustment here and a little adjustment and align Capella. So now the controller is indicating that we had aligned success. So at that point, I can go through the menu. So now that we have that alignment, let's see if we can find the moon. So the place you'll find it is under planet. And so we can look, and it is telling us that this evening we have Mercury. We move the down key, we have Venus, we have Mars, we have Uranus, and we have the moon. And all I have to do is select it, press enter, and the aligned telescope will now make its way to the moon. Once there, we're going to take a close-up look at the controller and see what other cool features. I mentioned 40,000 of them in this computerized telescope with the go-to mount. So, looking at the controller, we see the different buttons here. So these are Messier objects, Caldwell objects, NGC, which is New General Catalog. We also see we can go to stars by name. The buttons you will most likely use more often are the planet, which we just looked at, the list, and the tour. Also, anytime you're on an object, the info button will give you distance, size, whatever relevant information there is regarding the object. So the list has named objects, common names that we might know, so we're going to undo and go into that just very quickly. You can look for solar system objects. You can also look for these named objects that some of you will recognize right away, such as Andromeda Galaxy, and there are many, many more in that list, as you see. Goes on to Orion Nebula and lots of others. I'm going to undo. For new operators, the tour is an excellent button. So we'll undo again, and when we hit Star Tour, this will take you to objects that are within the night sky on the day and time you are observing. This is really useful to help you learn more about our night sky. There are also slew limits, safety features. If you're in a named object list and you try and see Orion in the middle of the summer, the telescope will issue a warning and won't allow the scope to move there, as it will not be up in your night sky. You may have noticed that I have put some glow-in-the-dark tape here on my tripod legs, and that's in the hopes that no one walks by and kicks my mount, undoing all my precise alignment during the dark night. The other thing is I like to start with my power cord looped around the single fork arm in the hopes that it won't get caught up and be pulled out. This telescope is also has what's known as a cord unwind feature. So as it moves around the night sky, it will reverse its direction so that it doesn't keep going round and round and round, twisting up the cord. So I encourage you to get out, use your telescope. It's a great way to learn about the night sky. Join a local astronomy club. You can learn so much from the members, and also think about do-it-yourself projects that will enhance your observing evenings. Thank you.